Hello, this is Misha. I'm trying a new format here because I've been talked many times. Can you explain what warps are and how do they work under the hood? So yeah, let's dive in. Warps are instant, or in the shortest form, instant blockchain transactions anywhere. Anywhere because they can be shared via simple links, on social timelines like X, forums, chats, DMs, whatever. But also because they are links, they can be easily encoded within QR codes, NFC tags, which makes them super useful to also integrate them in the real world. They can be proposed to teams, multisigs, and DAOs to interact with any smart contract. It can be displayed with QR codes in virtual worlds or even with native integrations, so you don't have to rely on QR codes. And obviously, because we have the AI Megawave hackathon going on, we're going to talk I'm going to give a little bit more context about how they're useful to AI agents as well. So yeah, let's continue. The main goal of warps is to stop bringing people to the blockchain, but instead bring it to the people so that it becomes part of the daily life and they cannot go without it anymore. That's the goal. We want to bring them as close as possible to the people. How do we do this? It could be through NFC tags, could be through QR codes, could be through links, but also AI agents, as we talked about. At the core of Warp, you have a JSON blueprint, which looks like this. This is stored within a transaction, or within the data field of a transaction, which is basically what you would call an inscription. And the hash of this transaction becomes the warp ID. Let's go quickly over this. So basically the first field we have, the first value is the protocol. It just defines the warp version. Not that interesting. Then we have a name just for a general reference, which can be displayed in the public gallery, whatever. Then we have title, description, and preview, which can be rendered on or displayed on the front end. When you share a link with the user, then they will see this. And then we have actions, which there are three different kinds of actions. We're going to go over this in a little bit. The first, the one we have here is a contract action, which basically defines of how to interact with a smart contract. So if the front end would, the website would display a button for this action, it would show create now. It would just let the front end know which smart contract to call and how, with which arguments and inputs. And the inputs can also be nicely shown to users. Like in this case, we have a token name of type as string, just a normal text input. It will be placed at the first position in the arguments. It comes from an input field, not from a URL, for example, which is also possible, and some basic validation like minimum, maximum, and yeah. So we have, as part of Wheelie, we have created a default client, which we call usewarp.2. It comes with the UI generation that we talked about. The previous warp blueprint will be rendered like this, for the users. If they open the link, they will see this. And just input the data that is needed and execute it. That's the goal. Very simple. Bring blockchain to the people. Yes, and then usewarp.2 also comes with some other features like warp creator. So these JSON blueprints don't have to be created, through a text creator, a text editor only, but you can actually create them through and inscribe them through the usewarp.2 tab. But it comes with other features like QR codes, generator, and more. So each warp that you create also has a cool QR code that you can share. So as mentioned, usewarp.2 is a default client. You can share links like this with it. But in the future, we might even see warps have native support within other ecosystem applications, like could be a Nexus, could be Exportal. Nothing confirmed there, but just saying that this is something that's definitely possible and will be cool to see in the future. The first type of action that we talked about already is contract calls. It's defined by type of contract. This is an example to interact with an X Money guild. Just, a label which would be shown as a button on the website, smart contract address function, some basic information, and then user input can be, will be shown as UTK stake, type ESDT, which shows all user wallet owned ESDT tokens. It will be used to transfer, shown as an input field, and the only option is UTK. the token. And just to show how powerful warps are, is you can even define modifiers to modify this specific field based on another field, just make it compatible with a different kind of, with all different kind of smart contracts. Yeah, anyway, next action is contract queries. Oh no, actually we said we're going to talk a lot about AI. So right now there's a lot of hard coding going on for within AI agent frameworks. Hard coding means that any kind of smart contract interaction is coded in probably like 100 lines of code or multiple hundreds lines of code. But and you would have to do this for all kinds of dApp interactions. So if there's a new dApp, then you would have to write a new few hundred lines of code. But if your AI agent knows how to deal with warps, then you just do this integration once, and whenever you want your AI agent to be more capable, interact with more smart contracts, you just create a new warp and you're done with it. And the cool thing is that whenever someone else creates a warp for a different kind of integration, like for metaverse or virtual world, then automatically your AI agent will be able to use that warp too and become more capable with it. Then we have contract queries. Contract queries are basically to read any kind of value that is stored within a smart contract or returned by a smart contract view function, to be precise. It's defined with type equals query. It can show a button, it can show an address, it defines an address function and arguments of how to call the specific view function of the smart contract. And this is to show also another feature, which is warp variables. We released them very recently. So warp variables basically allow you to define them once, use them anywhere within the warp, and also define how they're being set when the warp is first opened or initialized. And this specific raffle ID variable, which is used in the arguments, is taken from the URL query of name raffle. And then it will return you an output like this when used on a front end, like use warp.to. But if, again, for AI agents, it will be super useful to use the contract queries too, because once your agent knows how to use queries, they can interact with they can fetch any kind of information that is on the blockchain within a smart contract. And basically what this is useful for is, for example, if you use the results that we have here and feed this into the context window of an LLM, of an AI, then it can use this data to make further decisions, which is super powerful, because if you have a trading agent, then you can feed it the on-chain data of a liquidity pool, and it can make these real-time decisions based on those. Yeah, last action that we have is of type data, or we call it data collection. It's type collect. It works quite similar like the other type of actions, but what happens after the user input the data is that they're being sent to an off-chain service of your, we call them destinations here, but of your choice. It can be any kind of endpoint, and the data is being sent there. Also super cool for AI agents, they can use this to collect data as part of a natural conversation and then send it to any of your off-chain services. So another cool thing here is, and you can use this with any kind of input, and even at the root of the warp blueprint is the bot field, which allows you to give more context to an input or the warp itself, in order to let the agent know how to treat this input, which is super cool, because for username, it might know that this might refer to the user's name, but we have had different fields where we had a source field where we wanted to know where the user comes from as part of an onboarding flow, and that will be super useful to let the agent know, and also to, for example, give recommendations within the conversation that it has. Then lastly, we have the on-chain registry, which allows to assign aliases. You know, we said the transaction hash becomes the ID, but if you want to share a warp, you have to share the ID, so it doesn't look pretty in the URL. So you can assign an alias to it, which makes them very handy. Could be, you know, use warp.to/create token, where create token is the alias, and it will also look very nicely and pretty for your friends that you sent them to, or customers even. And the registry also comes with an upgrade functionality with a tracking of the history, so if it will be visible when you upgraded a warp. And then some other features that are upcoming, like branding, trust status, governance integration, and all that. Yeah, so in terms of integration, we have SDKs, the TypeScript SDK, which is the most advanced, but we also have a PHP SDK. And yeah, as part of the hackathon, it would definitely be cool to see people expand the ecosystem to write SDKs, mirror SDKs that we already have in Rust, Go, and yeah, other languages too. And some other ideas for the hackathon that is currently ongoing. Deadline is soon, so definitely be sure to hurry up, or be fast, and don't let too much time pass. As said, any warp that exists can be used with any integration and the AI agents. So one of the goals that we have is to create or increase the repository of warps that we have. So we want to have warp creations with AI, just to extend or expand the library that we have of warps. Then obviously we want to would be cool to see creative ELIZA OS integrations. So if you have any ideas on working on this, definitely would be cool to see. Then we have ABI to warp converters. When you develop a smart contract, it outputs a definition file of how to interact with it. And yeah, so we could technically use this file to generate a lot of warps with it. And as said, the more warps, the better. And if you combine this with AI, I think we can get great results. Other integrations with social bots, like this, could be on Discord, could be on Telegram. Any kind of integration would be cool to see. Yeah, definitely also interesting experiments that are happening currently. Protocol enhancements, if you notice anything, and also the SDKs, if you notice anything that can be improved, would be cool to add it, so that we can make the protocol as a whole even more flexible, to be used for more applications, and to, you know, just accelerate the progress and the process of bringing warps in the blockchain to the people, instead the other way. And if you need help with any of this now, during the hackathon or later, get in touch with us through our Telegram group. We have the Warp Protocol Telegram group. And we are happy to help and see what we can create. So yeah, back to work. I hope you like this format. I hope this could give you, or this gave you, a lot of insights. And yeah, if you have any questions, use the Telegram group, get in touch, and yeah, let's build something cool. See you soon. Bye bye.